Imagine waking up one day and realizing an entire branch of your family tree was just erased. Not killed in some dramatic battle you can point to, not wiped out by a plague with a clear date, but quietly removed from the story of who we are, their genetic signature fading almost overnight on the scale of human history. If that sends a chill down your spine, you're not alone. Because right now, cutting-edge ancient DNA research is revealing something terrifying and beautiful. A mysterious tribe that lived, loved, and thrived for thousands of years, only to have their bloodline nearly erased from modern humanity. Stick with me through this long, dark journey tonight, because by the end, we'll uncover who they were, why they disappeared, and what their ghostly echo still whispers about all of us. Let's set the scene. Picture a world about 5,000 to 8,000 years ago. The Sahara isn't the endless sand sea we know today. It's green, lush. Rivers carve through what will become desert. Hunter-gatherers and early herders move across vast savannas. In rock shelters like Takarkori in modern-day Libya, families bury their dead. Two women, naturally mummified by the dry air, rest there for over 7,000 years, until scientists finally read their DNA. What they found shattered expectations. These ancient people didn't match the genetic profile of most living Africans today. Their DNA carried signals of a deep, unknown lineage, a ghost branch that split off early and walked its own path. Traces of this ghost population had shown up before in faint statistical whispers in modern genomes, but here was flesh and blood evidence. A real group, a real people, and then they vanish. Not instantly in one cataclysmic day, but on the grand timeline of genetics, their distinct signature gets swallowed up shockingly fast. Replaced, diluted, overwritten by waves of new migrations, farming expansions, climate shifts turning their green homeland into desert. One group after another moves in, intermixes, dominates. And just like that, this tribe's unique genetic identity fades from the living record, leaving only haunted fragments in our DNA. This isn't the only ghost. Far from it. The deeper we dig, the more we realize human history is littered with these erased chapters. Go back further into Africa. In Cameroon, at a rock shelter called Shumlaka, scientists pulled DNA from children buried 8,000 and 3,000 years ago. Again, a ghost, a previously unknown modern human lineage that contributed to West and Central African peoples, but then largely disappears from the genetic landscape as Bantu-speaking farmers sweep across the continent. Their descendants today carry only tiny percentages, echoes of a people who once walked the land but got genetically sidelined. The pattern repeats in eerie ways across the planet. In the Americas, recent studies of nearly 200 indigenous genomes reveal an unknown ancient Asian ghost population whose DNA lingers in certain groups. No bones, no direct artifacts we can clearly tie to them, just persistent genetic signals passed down for over 10,000 years, sometimes linked to Australasian-like traits that pop up unexpectedly. They mixed in, helped early Americans adapt, and then their distinct identity melted away. Colombia, 6,000-year-old bones from people who farmed the highlands. Their DNA doesn't closely match later indigenous groups in the region. Another vanished lineage. They lived, built societies, then faded from the genetic story as new waves arrived. Even in Europe and Asia, we find these ghosts. Basal Eurasians, ancient North Eurasians, mysterious branches that contributed to Yamnaya steppe herders or early farmers, only to have their pure form overwritten by massive population turnovers around 5,000 years ago during the Bronze Age. So what does vanished overnight really mean here? On a human lifetime scale, it wasn't overnight. These were slow, grinding processes, climate change turning fertile lands barren, incoming groups with better technology or numbers outcompeting or absorbing the locals, diseases, wars, choices to migrate or intermarry. But zoom out to the genetic view spanning centuries and millennia, and it feels abrupt. One moment their unique alleles are common, the next barely detectable, erased from most bloodlines. That's the nightmare fuel. Entire peoples, with their own stories, languages, traditions, faces we'll never see, reduced to statistical anomalies in our 23andMe results. But here's where the story gets even darker and more fascinating. These ghosts aren't truly gone. They left fingerprints, that ghost DNA from archaic-like sources in West Africa. Some studies suggest it may have helped with immune responses or adaptation to local environments. The mysterious Asian signal in indigenous Americans possibly aided survival in new lands. Those faded African lineages, they may still influence subtle traits in millions of people today. Our genomes are graveyards and libraries at the same time. Every human alive carries DNA from tribes and branches that no longer exist as distinct groups. Neanderthals and Denisovans are the famous ones, but there are deeper, unnamed ghosts too. We are all haunted. Now, let's trace one thread more carefully. The Saharan ghost around that 5,000 to 7,000 year mark. As the Sahara dried dramatically between 600 and 400 years ago, ago, populations were forced to move. Some headed south, some to the Nile Valley, contributing perhaps to early Egyptian or other North African societies. Others mixed with incoming pastoralists. The Green Sahara's diverse hunter-gatherers and herders got absorbed or displaced. Their pure genetic signature, mostly overwritten. Similar dramas played out globally during the great agricultural expansions. Farmers with higher population densities often replaced or swamped hunter-gatherer groups. Around 5,000 years ago, massive Yamnaya-related migrations reshaped Europe. In East Asia, rice and millet farmers expanded. In Africa, the Bantu expansion. Each wave created winners and ghosts. The counterintuitive gut punch? This mixing and replacing is how humanity became so successful. Hybrid vigor, new adaptations. But it came at the cost of lost diversity, lost stories, entire ways of life erased from the living DNA record. So what can we learn from these genetic ghosts? What's the shift that makes this ancient horror relevant to you sitting here right now? First, it humbles us. Modern humans like to think we're the pinnacle, the end of the story, but we're just the latest remix. Our DNA is a mosaic of survivors and the absorbed. The vanished tribes still ride along in us. Second, it warns us. What we're doing today, globalization, massive population shifts, environmental change, could create new ghost populations in the future. Cultures and genetic lineages diluted faster than ever. It makes you think twice about preserving diversity, both cultural and biological. Third, and maybe most hopeful, we can still recover their stories. Ancient DNA tech is advancing insanely fast. More samples, better sequencing, AI analysis. Those ghosts are being brought back into the light, one genome at a time. The women from Takarkori, they're no longer just statistics. They have names in our history again. Every time we sequence another ancient bone, we resurrect another lost chapter. Think about your own DNA. Somewhere in there might be a tiny segment from a 5,000-year-old Saharan herder who watched the lakes dry up, or from a Colombian highland farmer whose line got interrupted, or from even deeper unnamed ghosts. You carry survivors. You carry the erased. That's not scary. That's powerful. It connects every single one of us to a much richer, messier, more incredible human story than we ever imagined. The tribe didn't truly vanish without a trace. They vanished into us. If this deep dive into humanity's hidden genetic nightmares and wonders gripped you, drop a comment. Which ghost population fascinates you most, or what surprised you the most? Share this with someone who loves ancient mysteries. Hit like if you want more long-form journeys into our lost past, subscribe, and turn on notifications so we can keep uncovering these truths together. The ghosts are speaking. We just needed the tools to finally hear them. Rest easy knowing that in your veins, the vanished still live on.